We want to go ahead and bring in Dustin McClellan. He is our first guest here with us on the MegaCast, founder and CEO of the Pontiac Community Foundation. Dustin, thank you for joining us today on the MegaCast.
Hi, good morning, Ronnie and Tyler. Hope you're doing well today.
So, for those that aren't aware of what the Pontiac Community Foundation does, can you fill us in?
Yeah, so the Pontiac Community Foundation is all about building a brighter future for the people of Pontiac. And we do that through a variety of wide-ranging initiatives in the areas of philanthropy, leadership, and collaboration in the city of Greater Pontiac area.
Dustin McClellan joined us. He is from the Pontiac Community Foundation, their founder and CEO. So recently you've put some new efforts in place on that are on point with that goal. One of those being you're launching a new Entrepreneurship Center. Can you explain to us what that is going to be all about?
Yeah, so obviously we've been navigating the COVID-19 pandemic and seeing what the long-term or even short-term issues will be in our community, and so supporting small businesses, in particular budding entrepreneurs, those that may need to get some additional education, assistance, help formalize their business, tips and tools to get their business off the ground. We felt it necessary to start a program that would assist Pontiac entrepreneurs. And so it's called the Center for Pontiac Entrepreneurship, with several particular facets, helping entrepreneurs learn, connecting them with mentors, giving them access to capital and funding, and then the ability to network with other small business owners that may be starting their business or new to business.
Have you found that there is a higher interest in people starting their own businesses during the pandemic or coming out of the pandemic, maybe because they lost their other job?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of us uncertainty all around, right, in the midst of a crisis like this. However, people want some type of control over their circumstances and over their income. And so I'm seeing a lot of people that either want to have their own business that they can give their all to, or want an additional stream of income should we have further uncertainty or loss of wage. They've got a little more control over their situation. So we're seeing a lot of people that want to legitimize maybe a hobby or something they're passionate about, or a need they've seen in the community around them, and turn that into a successful business.
So, Dustin, I have to tell you, I'm passionate about Pontiac. I live down the street in Kego, and I feel like Pontiac is this gym that just seems like it can't make that first step to get past the stigma of the city that it used to be. How do you get it? Like, you're taking on a pretty big task here. What do you want people to know about Pontiac if they haven't been there in quite some time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm so glad you have the same thought process that we do. That's really why our organization was started. Just 2 years ago, we started the Pontiac Community Foundation because we felt like Pontiac was this forgotten city in the midst of incredible wealth in Oakland County, wonderful cities on either sides of us. Also some challenging cities on our sides in Detroit and Flint, and a lot of investment, a lot of intention gone into Detroit and Flint, but Pontiac being overlooked. And so we said, hey, we want to draw attention to those that may want to do business in Pontiac, may want major funders that may want to make investments into Pontiac. And I think people need to know that even in the midst of the pandemic, Pontiac is open for business. We've got a wonderful downtown, wonderful restaurants, wonderful entertainment venues. It is a great city to live in and to raise your family in, and to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that the restaurant scene hasn't taken off a little bit more than what it has there in Pontiac, because so many people from our area are doing that. They're driving downtown to go to some of these restaurants. And it's like, wait, Pontiac is right here. What can be done to try to market the city?
Yeah, I think that, to your point, a lot of the stigma around Pontiac in terms of safety, uh, that needs to be abolished. And the reality is Pontiac, the downtown area, is one of the safest downtowns. I've heard our Oakland County Sheriff say that many times in all of Oakland County. And so, in terms of navigating the Woodward Loop and coming into downtown, beyond the Dream Cruise, it's a great place to be and a great place to hang out, and even beyond just having a drink or getting a meal, there's a ton of diversity in our city. People from all walks of life, all nationalities, all persuasions, saying, you know what, this is a cool melting pot that we get to be a part of and experience life in.
I Yeah, we have United Shore is there now, and
Yes.
it's growing like crazy. Amazon's coming in, plus the M1 Concourse. That is such a cool and unique event and location and place that is uniquely Pontiac. So, how do you build on that to keep that momentum going?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're excited about all of the industry that's coming in Pontiac, some of the larger developments and businesses that are making their home here. And I think that we as a community, I'm going to speak a little internally, we've got to continue to come together and have those strategic plans and visions that can go to the outside world where they can see that we're working together to carve out this plan in terms of economic development and community development. But I think people also need to pay attention to what's happening in Pontiac, and that the world is coming here. And, the next step is for those around us in Oakland County and in the metro area to say, man, if United Shore is coming here, if Williams International, building things for our aerospace and defense contracts, et cetera, if the world is literally coming here, then maybe we should come and check out Pontiac as well.
And part of that, Dustin, it, does tie back into the Entrepreneurship Center that is going up in Pontiac through your foundation. That includes over $100,000 in grant funding as well. What would some of that money go to help these businesses and these business people that are trying to grow their businesses in the city of Pontiac?
Yeah, so we are building out this entire program and obviously hiring infrastructure staff and all of that to lead and run this, but also providing that real technical assistance and some resource hands-on tools for entrepreneurs, but also funding. A large part of that will go to funding, and we actually are just completing the first round of funding we have for small businesses in Pontiac. We're actually going through the review process too to see who will get those funds. And so we've got the funding available now. The virtual courses just started this weekend. There'll be another course starting Wednesday. And so lots of resources and tools. And what's really cool about Pontiac right now is there's a group of 8 major funders that we call them major funders in the nonprofit space. And they've said, you know what, we funded in other areas. We want to make a strategic investment in the city of Pontiac. And so they pulled a group of Pontiac stakeholders together and said, what are those areas that need investment? And entrepreneurship was one of those spaces. And so as they're kind of bringing us through a collaborative process of identifying these different areas in Pontiac that need funding, they've said, let's jumpstart one of those areas. Let's do it through the Pontiac Community Foundation. And that's where the Balmer Group came to us and said, we want to support you guys in your continued infrastructure that's needed to support the city of Pontiac.
Such great things going on. Dustin McClellan with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. He is the founder and CEO, Pontiac Community Foundation. What are some of the other areas that could be developed coming down the pipeline? I know you said the entrepreneurship is the first one. What could be in the back pipeline there?
Yeah, another one we're giving a lot of attention to and space to is our public spaces in the city of Pontiac, trails and walkways and our city parks, our pocket parks in downtown. A city like Pontiac, having gone through receivership in recent years and finally getting our municipality back in line, it could be a challenge to give dollars to those areas. But we all know that those are the areas that make a thriving city a wonderful place to live, that welcome families and individuals. And so we're putting dollars into our parks right now. We've got a few developments happening right now, and we hope to continue to do that over the course of time, and to target particular public spaces around the city that will help continue to make this a vibrant place to live.
I know you and members of your group have studied a lot about urban planning and what needs to happen in the city of Pontiac. I'd like to get your 2 cents on what you think would be the best use of the Phoenix Center. It is right in the heart of Pontiac, and I feel like whatever comes out of that is really going to shape the future of the city.
Yeah, the Phoenix Center Plaza and any discussion around that has been a sticky situation for many years. So the Phoenix Plaza, let's include in that discussion the Woodward Loop and whether or not that's a good thing for the downtown. And then Saginaw, that is being cut off by the Phoenix Center Plaza right now. These three issues have been discussed ad nauseum in our community, and they will continue to be discussed until some end comes to them. In my opinion, I feel like the best use of the Phoenix Center and the adjacent properties there would be for an outside investor to come and kind of take ownership of that, whether that's through a public-private partnership, whether that is an exclusive purchase of that property. Because the reality is that a city like Pontiac, again, coming through receivership and other challenges historically, we've never really been able to put really the meat on the bone to make that a successful venue, entertainment venue, shopping district, do other developments on that property that were in the original plan for downtown Pontiac. And so without that public-private partnership, it'll never be a Campus Martius-like development, right? It was successful public partnerships that really put Detroit back on the map in terms of downtown. And so that's what I would love to see. I think we're poised for it here in our city. I think there are incredible entities around this area that could say, hey, we'll take a chance on Pontiac, we'll take a chance on downtown, we'll take a chance on this development and move it beyond where it is now and to where it needs to be.
Dustin McClellan with us. He is the founder and CEO of the Pontiac Community Foundation, joining us today on the Oakland County MegaCast. Dustin, just a few more minutes with you before we have to let you go today. Is there anything else that you'd like to discuss about the city of Pontiac, about the business community, about other projects that are in the works, or anything that we didn't discuss already today?
Yeah, number one, I want to thank you guys for having me and for taking this time and allowing us to have a broader discussion about Pontiac. I want folks out there to know that Pontiac's open for business. And so in the midst of this pandemic and this 2020 year, folks are looking for a place to do business, a place to move their business. I've talked to 3 or 4 individuals last week that were saying, we're thinking strategically about where we want to place our business, and we'd like to come to Pontiac. Can we talk with you? Yes, our doors are open. And so we want you to come here, do business here, be a part of the fabric of the community, and get a hold of me. I'd love to help you in any way that I can to continue to move Pontiac forward and have you here.
So, Dustin, some people and some businesses are actually being priced out of investing in parts of Detroit now. And I know one of the issues before, it was harder for businesses and people to get grants if you were in Pontiac versus Detroit, because you needed that Detroit address for the grant. So do you think now Pontiac is becoming more attractive because the price of doing business in Detroit is going up?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. I think not only the affordability of property here, but also the cost of living for employees in our downtown environment is attractive. And then our city has done a great job of working with developers on not giving away things, but making it easier for them to make a development happen with various incentives that the city may have to offer. So I think we're primed for those type of developments. And as I mentioned, we've got 8 major funders who've said we're making strategic investments in Pontiac. So the grant dollars are here, and the time is now.
Pontiac is the place to be. It's going to be the new up and coming old city, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Dustin, thank you so much for being with us on the MegaCast. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you guys so much. Sure appreciate the time.